Time now for the voice of the land on the Big Play Network with your hosts, Kevin Arnold and Always Positive Jay.
What's going on, everybody? No, you don't have to adjust whatever device you're watching us on here tonight. It is a huge crossover event, so why not go over to the couches we have always asked Peter if we could do this show from, and he finally lets us because there's too many people in the studio to actually be at the table. I am Kevin Arnold. That's Always Positive Jay. Somewhere around here, Peter is. He's better known as Audio, the AI system. What Audio, or what Jarvis was to Iron Man, Audio is to us here at the Voice of Land. We are part of the Big Play Network and partner with LPV Productions. We thank our friends at Vector Technical. They get the right person in the right job the first time. More on them to come later, but we need to bring in our guests here tonight. The crossover episode you guys have all didn't know you needed, but it's here.
Oh, this was needed.
Oh, my goodness.
This was needed.
The Voice of the Land pairing up with the Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast guys, Double A Anthony Alford, Kyle Cornell. They are here in studio. They're going to do our show, and then we're going to do their show, and it's going to be real funny when we do their show because Jay has no idea anything about what we're going to be talking about on the side.
Fantastic.
I actually did a little homework.
Oh, okay.
all right.
I had to go to my
All right.
guru dude on his WWE expertise.
All right.
And I'm just predicting right now, like we always go off the rails.
You're already
This is-
taking us there.
Oh yeah, dude, this ain't going off the rails. Like I think the whole train's done for.
What do
dude,
you-
after
what do you-
this.
what do
It
you
never
mean?
started. There's no
Yeah,
cold
they
yet.
didn't
Yeah.
even get out of the station.
All we do here is keep things on track. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, we're going to keep this on track. We're going to be good to go.
You feeling okay?
That's a
I
lie.
didn't
You're
say
lying.
I
You're
was.
lying.
No, I had to say something honest here. And I got it out the bag here, so we're good.
Well, as the person in charge of this show to keep it on track, we do need to start tonight. I know, Jay, if we were just doing the show tonight, we probably wouldn't want to do this, but we wouldn't be doing our jobs right if we didn't start with this topic because it is the hottest topic in all of Cleveland. While the Cavs are playing and they scored over 40 points in the first quarter tonight, and the Guardians are about to start, yes, we do need to start with the Browns tonight because at the owners' meetings down in Florida, the owners talked about the stadium issue. It seems like we are now down to the two options, which everybody's been talking about anyway. So it's not really news, but everybody thought it was, that it's redoing the stadium on the lakefront or a dome stadium, which they would have to move out of downtown. I feel like I know where everybody is, but I don't want to assume. So, Kyle, I'll start with you. I'm going to pass up my buddy APJ here. And
Chop
We only
liver
talked
or-
about it beforehand. It's no big deal.
yeah, it's no big
This
deal.
is what happens. He doesn't come in with a Guardians jersey. You know, I get him. I'd be Kevin not bringing.
I told you they'd
I didn't
plot
get-
against me, Peter. I told you. That's why I had to put myself in the middle to make sure they could just.
You got to
I
make
get
sure you
it-
get your camera
yeah.
time. Yeah,
You know,
I got
you see this thing in my hand here? That's a phone. You guys, you could have texted me that you had Guardians jerseys tonight.
I had no idea either.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I, just
I mean,
You,
you don't
guys-
tell your podcast partner. You don't tell yours. I mean,
I don't have one, so it doesn't really matter.
I probably could have brought you one because I have so
well.
many from.
All I know is we were ready for the season. These guys weren't.
I know.
And he's a damn Yankees fan. Like, sorry.
Do you want to like ask
I mean,
someone
I
else
like-
the question?
I-
I like the damn
Yeah.
Yankees. There's some pretty good music actually.
Well, Hoover. Yeah.
But yes, as you were saying,
Yes,
we're talking stadium.
We're talking that damn stadium. Kyle, I mean, do you want a dome? Do you want them to revamp? I mean, is leaving the lakefront the best option for this team?
Sure, there's plenty of downtown Cleveland partnership groups that are not happy about that announcement, possibly. I would assume so. And the other professional sports teams do now play all in the vicinity of downtown Cleveland. So it seems a little strange, especially this Brook Park, what we've been hearing, like
Yeah.
where the Ford plant is now.
Mhm.
Interesting place to put a stadium. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I lived in Parma pretty much my entire life, right on the border of where they're talking about
Yep.
doing this. Kind of strange to picture like an actual like domed stadium just there all of a sudden.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's a couple businesses on West 130th and Brook Park that would be like, oh yeah, but it's still kind of like,
I know a few in particular.
yeah, right. Some fine establishments that
Yeah,
maybe or maybe not serve alcohol.
There's
that
some
kind
good
of thing.
sponsorship opportunities over there.
It's strange. It's strange.
It,
Kevin,
really,
really
it
is.
feels strange to me. I mean, yes, I want a dome, but to move out of downtown Cleveland, I understand that, and we all know the stadium is hard to access. Parking is a nightmare. all of those things. The land bridge, the lakefront should have been done up a long time ago. These conversations have been happening for a long time. But AA, I mean, to leave downtown, does that feel right? Or is it, hey, we need a dome stadium, so wherever they need to do it and they can get the land to do it, let's do it because it's not that far away from downtown.
Well, I love the rich tradition that the Browns have had over there at downtown, the winning tradition that the team has had, this entire time. The loads of championships and playoff games. And I'm sorry, we're talking about the Browns.
Yes.
A couple. Recently, a couple.
Yeah, recently. Look, first of all, this whole tradition thing, forget. Let me put it to you this way. So I like my apartment in Bedford. The apartment's fine. But if my landlord came to me and said, hey, this apartment that only has pretty much a living room, a bathroom, one closet, and one little corner, we're going to put $1 billion into this apartment complex. That's stupid. What else can you do? All you do is to step in there and you eat, you do the number 2, and you sleep. And that's it. That's the Brown Stadium right now.
Just got to say, AA comparing the Brown Stadium currently to his 1-bedroom apartment in Bedford is like fantastic. That's awesome.
As a season ticket holder, he's not that far off, by the way.
I like his apartment. It's nice.
What are you going to do? Okay, you're going to put $1 billion into that stadium in downtown to do what? You're going to put some windows in there?
Connect the top? I don't know.
We're going to add a couple of stairs. You could go.
They're going to widen the concourses. Yay.
Woo!
The food will still be cold.
You think
in
a
the top
retractable
100s.
roof would make sense if they're going to do that, but I mean, spend the money there instead of in other spots, or if you're going to keep it down there.
And I love the people that say like you can't put a dome on the same, or you can, like they're architects. Like I've heard architects say that it would be very difficult to do that, and I know that revamping it, there's not going to be a roof on the current stadium as where it's at and how it's constructed. The only way to adjust it is just updating the concourses, like you said, Jay. I mean, you're a season ticket holder. Are you okay with going to?
Oh, I'm so down. I am so ready to get out of downtown. I hate driving there. I hate the mile walk I have to take from every single parking lot. My only problem is by this airport is going to be like, all right, Browns, it's third.
Oh, that's going to be the best
Airplanes.
part.
Like, dude, what the hell just happened? Like, those planes are loud, so they're going to have to, I'm sure they'll be able to wait to drown it out somehow. But other than that, I'm done with. Like,
Well, I mean, if you're inside, you should be able to drown it out. With how many fans go to games, no matter how
I
the
mean, you
team
hear it when a
is.
plane goes over your house, don't you? You're right there.
Yeah, but a building like that.
I'm just
that's gonna-
curious. I don't know. Like, I'm curious
Right.
if you're gonna hear it 50 times.
Some
during the games.
Browns fan guys is going to say, well, that's going to add to the home field advantage.
Yeah, seriously. Although being in a dome will amplify the noise of the crowd big
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
so it's going to give us an advantage because definitely the outside has not worked for us very well and not given us any kind of advantages. I don't know if you noticed.
And if
I've
you're
had guys from the West Coast that are in warm weather come
Yeah.
here and just beat the snot out of us, and they
I mean,
don't
look
care.
at 2 years ago, the New Orleans Saints that
Yeah.
play in a dome. They came with one of the worst, coldest,
And all I heard before
weather
that
days.
is how they can't play in the cold weather, and
and
they
they beat us.
look like they were straight from Alaska ready to
Wait,
play
Kyle,
football.
isn't that your team as well, the Saints?
Do you root for any? Do you root for what? The
He's got the
Cavs?
Cavs, who are up
What the
7
hell's going on with your fandom, man?
So I was
You're
born.
everywhere, dude.
A little backstory about
All
my
right.
dad. So I was born in like '94.
Mhm.
Obviously, Browns left. So for my first 5-6 years of my life, I didn't have a team here. So I have family in New Orleans. Drew Brees was also my favorite quarterback too. So it kind of all meshed together. And when I started really watching football, I started watching the Saints. They were terrible when I first started watching them. They were bad, like Aaron Brooks bad. Like that was.
Oh, you had
That was a
Aaron
rough
team to
Rodgers.
watch. And then they signed Drew, and I was like, oh, okay, at least my favorite quarterback's there now. That's kind of fun. And then they started winning, and then now I get
Yeah.
accused of being a front runner, even though
They're
I have
not the
family.
Yankees. They got a
Yeah.
lot of Buckeyes. I kind of always like.
Yeah.
was okay with the Saints. And I don't root for anyone. I'm a Browns fan. Like, oh, you guys
Right,
know,
yeah,
like, we don't like anybody anymore. We're just
Yeah.
tortured, poor
Yeah.
Browns fans.
We're cruel.
We're so jaded. We don't care for anybody
I mean,
else.
I've at
anymore.
least had an affinity for the Saints because my grandmother, she was Cajun Creole
Mhm.
background. Family moved from Europe to New Orleans, and I still hear the stories of when I haven't been there since I was 1 year old. Like, and I've wanted to go back, and when Hurricane Katrina hit, like that was to see that devastation down there. Like that's a city that you can root for how everybody came together and how to help those that were in need. Like that's a city that you can still get behind. So seeing the Saints logo on there, no issue. The Yankees, I mean, we'll get there.
That's his problem.
We'll get there.
That's my problem.
Nah.
Kevin, you mentioned too with this whole stadium thing again, kind of getting back in full circle of it. It's kind of strange because like we know the Cavs are investing a lot downtown.
Yep.
Aren't the Guardians doing some upgrades to Progressive Field
Yeah.
too?
Yeah, these
They're-
next couple of years.
Yeah, so people are investing more to viben it up even more, make it more of a attraction, and the Browns leaving it just seems strange.
It seems strange.
I get the positives, I do, but
Ab-
it just seems strange.
Right. But the biggest problem is Brown Stadium has never been connected to downtown. Like it's downtown and yet it's so disconnected. The way you have to get in, like that's the devil's advocate thing to that of leaving the downtown area to get the stadium that you want, because they're not going to have the time or the ability to knock down this stadium and then, oh, what are the Browns going to do? Go play in Columbus for a couple years? Like that's 2 hours away instead of 15 minutes in between places. I'm not like, that's not to say why I'm in favor of a dome where and what it is, but the Cavs are investing in downtown. They're in the middle of downtown. They're in that Gateway project. Progressive Field, same area, investing in that. East 9th Street, East 4th Street, they're still all going to benefit from that.
That, and we know the Dolans ain't going to spend that much money to build their own stadium.
Right. So it's to get the dome. I mean, the renovations, that $1 billion project would have to include that bridge that everybody was talking about to connect downtown.
I think they still have to do the bridge. Stadium stays or doesn't stay. Like that bridge has to be built. And if they tear down the old stadium, which God, I hope they do, because that has nothing but nightmares in it, they need to do something down there like extravagant, like awesome down there. And no one's going to care that the Browns left downtown. As long as they make whatever they make in Brook Park, the Haslams are going to go all out. They're going to build us the Taj Mahal of stadiums. Probably going to be at the time, probably one of the best stadiums in the league. And then all that, because they bought all the land around it, they're going to develop all that. And I could finally tailgate and then just walk right into the stadium. Like,
Well, everyone can tailgate together because
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
tailgating is separate. Like, I know I tailgate at the airport.
Yep.
And then you have others who tailgate at the Muni lot and then West 6. Like there's the tailgating experience is so spread out.
you can have, like, because I used to do a segment where I'd walk around and cover the tailgates and stuff. They're everywhere. They're all over downtown. And to Kevin's point, that's why that stadium is so disconnected from downtown. Because dude, they're in the West 6. What is that? They got that party going on. Then they got under the bridge. Then they got the pit. Then they got across from where you work in that parking lot.
Yeah.
Then they got the Muni lot. Then they have the docks area. Can't we just get the east, west, south parking
And none
lots?
of it's connected. So
No.
even to your point where when you're at 850, none of it from the flats to to the
Where you're
lakefront.
landlocked.
It's-
the
yeah.
lake. It's just that the whole area we can't access to get in and out.
I mean, at work, when I was going to like our street teams and stuff and walking all around, we had some in the flats, we had some by the stadium. Walking from where our station is to the stadium, I mean, I'm crossing an actual highway bridge, the Shoreway
that's
Bridge.
safe.
Yeah, that's
And
and look, when I'm driving from the east side, like I'm coming from Lake County to get in the Muni lot, I have to get off at 9 just to turn left and turn left right again to get back on to go and get in that parking lot.
So let me throw this at you guys then. So the Browns have pretty much made it clear unofficially they're going to Brook Park. Like
I think they are. Too.
I think that's
That's where the momentum at least is going.
yeah. So smart on the Browns to basically throw everything back in the city of Cleveland and say Mayor Bibb, everyone in the city of Cleveland, it's on you
Mm-hmm.
if you lose
Present
this
us
team.
with something. And dude, that's the Cleveland's problem has always been that lakefront. Like every other major city that has on these Great Lakes, awesome lakefronts. What the hell have we done ever since my lifetime? They built the river up. They ignore the lake. Like, it's a joke what they do. Is this the second mayor that's going to lose the Browns out of downtown? At least,
And this
he'll
mayor-
still be in Northeast Ohio.
And this mayor is actually trying to move up politically.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't envision him being the mayor of Cleveland, Ohio for the next
No.
20 years. Like, He's actually trying to move up in office. I'll give you 2 cities that have a better lakefront than Cleveland, among others.
All the other ones on the lakefront.
Erie, PA, and Sandusky.
Yeah.
And I'm not even
Sandusky's
talking about Cedar Point. I'm talking about downtown Sandusky.
Yes.
Has a better lakefront than Cleveland,
Oh.
Ohio.
Oh, for sure, dude. They got Cedar Point, but like Huntington Beach is better than Edge Park. Like, come on.
What's left of Huntington Beach?
I haven't been there in a while. I don't know what happened.
Right.
over there,
Almost gone.
but- Is it?
Last time I went was before I went to North Dakota, and yeah, there was like no beach there.
Oh,
There
really?
was like the water was just coming
I
all the
take
way
back
up.
that last statement.
It's still a little bit. It's
Yeah.
still,
Still
I mean,
probably better.
counts.
But yeah, like, dude, every city along our Lake Erie has an awesome thing on the lake, and we got nothing going on. Like, name something cool on the lake.
Burke Lakefront Airport.
Where the Big Play Studio is, but
I mean,
other than that, it
Yeah.
might be my secret parking spot for your events now. But you know,
and it has.
I will miss that.
All
The
6
free
planes that
parking I
fly in
got.
per year. All 6 planes.
I mean, I would
There was
I would
one
miss
when
the
they
air.
did when
Yeah.
they did the Grand Prix. The Grand Prix was cool.
Oh my gosh, I used to go to the Grand Prix. Like I had a buddy that used to get tickets all the time to the Grand Prix. That was amazing. Like, and the stands were full.
Yeah.
But now it doesn't get used for anything except for the air show, and that's 3 days out of a
Here's the
365
thing. Like, does
day
the
year.
city of Cleveland own that land? Is Burke Lake like?
I-
Everyone's like, "Oh, just build it on
think
Burke
so.
Lake." Like Burke Lake's gonna be like, "Yeah, sure, we're just gonna leave." You know, like
And-
I
and
don't
they're
know
not-
if they own it or not.
They're not going to leave because Cleveland Clinic.
Yeah,
That's a
Yeah.
huge airport for the Cleveland Clinic
True.
and for the rich people
But
and the Cleveland Clinic.
you know what though, the you know the Cleveland Clinic's there, but you have, and I don't think my mic is very loud here.
There you are.
There I am. You have Cuyahoga County Airport. It's not that far. It's really not that far because it's not like Cleveland Clinic is right downtown either.
All right.
You know, it's 105th. It's the same. It's almost the same distance. But I think the problem is, what was it? Mayor Daley, was it? I can't remember if it was Daley in Chicago, because there used to be an airport on Chicago's lakefront, and he basically just ordered bulldozers to go in and tear up the runways. And he got a lot of crap from the FAA because the FAA does not like to
No.
let go of airports.
No.
And a lot of people were pissed because their, private jets and small
Mhm.
airplane were stuck. because
Especially
there
on
was
a
no
lake
runway.
too. Like having
Yeah.
that kind of waterfront, like, that's probably
Here's
a
the
little
other
more on
problem.
the list higher up.
Yeah.
You're moving your problem a mile down the road. You're
Was this
still
Bikini Bottom?
landlocked. You still only have so many ways you can get in and out of the stadium if you put it at Burke Lake. Like that's the same problem you have there. You're gonna have the same problem there. Just make it all nice and for the community. Put some hotels down there, some shops, some nice townhouses. Do something over there.
Yeah.
Get the stadium out of there. Let's develop Brook Park. Here's another thing. We're talking about the parking. You don't think the Haslams know if they don't get no revenue from parking.
Yeah,
So
downtown
they put
now.
up 15,000 parking spots at $50 a pop, dude. They're making a bunch more loot that they were not making
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I just pay for my stadium. I'll have the parking pay for it alone.
I mean, I knew all my life that Brook Park was a destination city. And
He couldn't even keep going with it.
My uncle's a cop for Brook Park. I appreciate
I
it.
mean, it is a destination city. That's where you fly into. You ain't wrong.
Yeah, let's not take shots at our fellow in Northeast Ohio. It's like it would help.
ain't nobody there. Hey, what shots are we taking? Nobody. There's like 3 people who live in Brook Park. What shots are we taking?
half the amount of planes that go into Burke Lakefront every year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
People,
5
6
people
planes.
are going to pay for the new stadium. Ooh, good luck.
I mean, whether it's Brook Park or whatever, I think that a new stadium rather than renovating what is
Yeah,
downtown already,
I'm not about polishing a turd, dude.
yeah, can't really polish a turd. And it's not even necessarily a dome. And you look at Minnesota. I mean, that's an indoor facility. That it's an enclosed place. And yes, it's going to open up more opportunities. Are they guaranteed to get a Final Four, WrestleMania, all that kind of stuff? If that happens, no. But to have that opportunity to actually use a facility all year round, I think is more beneficial to Cuyahoga County, all of us here in Northeast Ohio, than it is to just leave an empty stadium and hope to get 12 events a year.
And the good thing too, I thought if they were going to move out of downtown Cleveland, this thing was going to Streetsboro or Strongsville.
Yeah.
And I thought it was going there, but you're going to keep it within the inner ring suburbs. You have a bus line that's going to go there.
Mhm.
So there still won't be any issues for the most part, getting to this land, getting to
I
the
think
stadium.
the transit goes lets off real close to there.
Mhm.
too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
got the
so-
bus, you got the train, you have 4 different ways in. You got 480, Turnpike, 71, 71, and the entire airport's right across the street. So like players, all they're gonna do is fly in, stay at the new hotel they built, go to the stadium, go back to the hotel, go across the street, and they're not back on their way. They're gonna love it.
It'll
Get 'em outta
be
here.
there's a lot of benefits to doing it in Brook Park. Now, a team that does play in an indoor facility that can be used all year round, they're a team in a playoff race trying to fight for seeding. Boy, oh boy, they're in a fight with the Charlotte Hornets tonight. We'll talk Cavs and Donovan Mitchell reportedly coming back on Friday on the other side. This is the Voice of Land on the Big Play and Be On Air Podcast Network.
Whether you're looking to hire new talent or start a new career, Vector Technical has you covered. Vector Technical is a 28-year-old staffing firm that has helped thousands of job seekers advance in their career with reputable partners throughout Northeastern Ohio. Vector Technical is more than just a temp agency. With an above-average hire-in rate of 1 in 4 candidates, Vector works hard to connect the right person with the right opportunity the first time. Vector Technical hires for skilled manufacturing and light industrial work and is sure to have a career that you've been looking for. To learn more, visit our website at www.vectortechnicalinc.com.
Welcome back to the Voice of the Land, the crossover event with the Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast. Boys, AA Anthony Alford, Kyle Cornell. I'm Kevin Arnold. He's always Positive J to my left instead of across the table. And Peter is somewhere in this room making us sound and look as good as possible.
He's in the void.
He's just in the void.
We all went to a different spot.
He's an AI, man. You never know where he's actually at. He's
Just don't upset him.
somehow
You
he's
don't want to
created
be on that guy's bad side.
He actually moves spots in between break.
he's created his own humanoid form somehow,
Like,
some
he
way.
can get into your house, especially if you got like a smart house, and just mess with you like you feel like you're haunted. So just be on Peter's good side.
See, that place would be worth a renovation. Not never mind.
Yep.
Let's move on. Sorry.
Okay.
A place that has been renovated, and every time it's renovated, Dan Gilbert makes it look even better inside. That is at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. The team that plays there, the Cavaliers, are in Charlotte tonight taking on the Hornets. They are in a bit of a dogfight right now in the third quarter. Was 71-70 Charlotte over Cleveland. I'm sure you got the score, Jay, but they're not playing any defense tonight. The one good note is that Donovan Mitchell could be coming back this Friday.
Thank God.
Jay, do you think it's still too quick? Because that knee injury, we've talked about how concerned we are about that when it hasn't been as talked about, but someone that has to take that much time for their knee, it seems like it's not one of those things that just it's going to heal overnight.
I mean, it ain't up to me. Like, I don't know what the dude feels like, what his knee feels like. Only person that can tell you if it's too early or not is Donovan Mitchell. And if he thinks he's ready to go, you got to let him go. And you're going to find out if it's too early or not. That's for sure. But yeah, I'm just excited to get him back. Like, this team is not the same. They're not going to go anywhere unless he's healthy and ready to go.
AA, have you been disappointed in the play of someone like Darius Garland?
Yes.
This year.
Yes.
He's been in and out with injuries. It seems like a year for a player that just going against him in every facet. But when he's out there, you either get a couple threes in a row or just not a lot of production. How disappointed have you been in Darius this year?
It doesn't seem like he's confident with his decision making, especially down the stretch. It just doesn't. And I'm just it's crazy because if you just look at the stats, it's okay. I mean, it's nothing bad, but it doesn't seem like he's packing in, making the impact that's really necessary to step forward. And now the Cavs are in a position where it's Donovan Mitchell or bust.
Yeah.
And it wasn't supposed to be this way.
No.
It was supposed to be you bring in Donovan Mitchell, and at the same time, Darius Garland and Evan Mobley were going to get better. And then, hey, you can decide whether or not to keep Donovan Mitchell or look for a trade, and you're off and running with Darius Garland. That is not the case. I don't know what happened. I don't want to go the whole coaching route at this stage, but I watched last year a couple of teams fall short, and they got rid of their coaches, no problem. So if you got to develop Darius Garland, and you don't have the people there who could do it, then you got to get people who can do it.
Well, and this is a show that we don't shy away from criticizing people when they deserve criticism, but we're not just like, this is the only problem. JB is the only problem. Darius is the only problem. Send him out of town. That's also not what we do. But JB, I think Kyle takes some of the blame that when these guys are together, it doesn't seem like they're improving and finding that chemistry together. It just seems like they almost get further and further apart, and it's frustrating to watch in those circumstances.
If I can use a term that kids are using nowadays, it's giving Warriors before dynasty vibes.
Yeah.
With Mark Jackson. How far can this coach take this group of guys before someone else, a new voice, needs to come in? Ironically enough, I used to be pitching for Mark Jackson every single day to come coach the Cavs. I thought it was like a match made in heaven. His energy and the way he coaches with these kind of guys are like through the roof. But I've been kind of curious about this. JB's a good coach. But again, sometimes personnel, the way it's set up, doesn't really work at that point, at least how you're trying to coach them and your game plans, your strategies based on what these guys can do, how the team runs, that kind of thing. Darius Garland's an all-star. Like, he's been to an all-star game. Like, he has that ability to be that kind of player. And he was hurt at the beginning of the year, but he's played a bunch of games in a row now.
Mm-hmm.
He should be in rhythm at this point. Evan Mobley's another story. He's had a rough year, in and out of the lineup a lot, missed a couple months. Obviously, Donovan, I think, broke his face too or something like that, or his nose.
Yeah,
Another
Tristan
reason why.
Thompson broke his nose.
Tristan, wrong team, buddy.
Yeah.
Other guys, please. That's why I brought you back. But nevertheless, I mean, it's
He had bad memories.
JB is like the biggest question mark for me, especially if this team does win 50 games again. And it's like taking a picture of the Warriors team
Mm-hmm.
and just copying and pasting on the Cavs now. Back-to-back 50-win seasons. They've got two guards playing fairly decent, but probably get a little more out of them, you would think. Like, it screams possible new voice in that locker room at some point.
And a concern that raises in my head when you say something like that, and it's all true. Like, JB is a good coach, but again, how far? What is the message actually getting through to these guys? Like, when he first was here, these guys, talent was winning games against the Cavs. It wasn't for lack of effort, grit, determination, defense. That's what JB instilled, the culture that he instilled. But as more better players came into this roster, it seemed like more finesse filtered in when JB is still preaching in his post-game press conferences, media days, all of that this team is still about defense. It's still about winning the 50-50 balls, all those types of things. So hearing that, the concern that raises in my head is, does the next coach, if they have to move on based on what happens in the playoffs, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but it's just like where your mind goes. Donovan Mitchell, there's a decision this offseason. If you try to bring in a new coach for a new message, just like the Warriors did, getting rid of Mark Jackson, bringing in Steve Kerr, is Donovan Mitchell still here, or what pieces are still here for that coach to try to mold back together?
Well, first off, hopefully, if it comes down to the next head coach, if we get to that point, hopefully the next head coach will pay a little bit more attention to the game instead of complaining to the refs, when the game starts.
Yeah.
I mean, after a while, you start yelling at the refs long enough, they're going to tune you out. Like, you can't yell at the refs as soon as the ball is tipped. Like, that's every game. Every game.
And what gets frustrating?
I got a paper cut. My player wasn't called for it. How dare you didn't call it? Like, shut up.
What gets frustrating about that is then the team isn't making adjustments. You go back to the New York Knicks playoff series. You're getting out-rebounded, out-physicaled, and there's no adjustment. There's no change.
If he gets out-coached in the playoffs again, he's out. I'll tell you right now.
Because
team got out-coached.
This team is a top 2 to 3 team in the Eastern Conference. I don't care what any of the experts at ESPN say or whatever it is. The talent, the young talent they have on this team, they are built to be a top 5 team in the East for the next 5 to 10 years. Obviously, everyone stays healthy, that kind of thing.
No, we can say that they're a great defensive team. They know how to play defense. Who taught them that? They're
not against the Hornets.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Sometimes.
My point is, if they do let's say they get rid of JB Bickerstaff, and I think he did do a great job establishing a defensive culture here, but you get to a point, you're just going to, how much more are you going to learn from that guy?
Yeah.
You need to learn something new, and you got to take a little bit from this guy, take a little bit from that guy, learn a little bit from this guy, and cultivate it. And that's when you really become a great player. Is like all the great quarterbacks are the ones that are eventually they're like, oh, these guys played in every system. You could plug and play them like Flacco for us last year. Yeah. You got to learn all the systems. And I think that's when you become real good.
I mean, they have the situation too where again your best 2 players are guards, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
find a coach that has that background in
Yeah.
guard play. That's why I love Mark Jackson because he was one of the better point guards in
Yeah.
the league when he was playing. It's like
Yeah.
he had that connection with Steph too. It kind of unlocked his potential a little more. Obviously, Steve Kerr said, "Yeah, go shoot it." But I mean, like he built up that time. I'm sure you could probably see a lot of Darius Garland in that too. That 3-point shot is deadly when he's on. Like there's another level to his game that needs to be unlocked.
He
Finding a
shows
coach.
that's what's aggravating about him. He shows
Oh,
you
yeah.
how good he truly can be.
He's a
but
good
he's
dude
so
too. Like it's you want him to
inconsistent.
do it
Yeah.
really well. Like
Yeah.
it's sometimes you see guys you're like, I don't know. He's like a really good dude. Like I'm rooting for him every day of the week to
Mhm.
figure it out and get back.
Pretty much everyone on that Cavs team is it's a very likable team, that's for sure.
Right. But
But-
when the ball gets tipped,
Yeah, that's another
that,
story.
you have to, if you're going to have it in the NBA, if you're a good person, especially in like soft spoken, like Evan Mobley, guys like that, you have to have that switch that when that ball gets tipped, it doesn't matter how many friends you have on the other side. That's why a guy like LeBron was so good. It has been for a long time. That's why Michael was so good. Kobe was so good. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was so good. They might have talked to these guys, their buddies on other teams in the offseason. And it's become more and more as time has gone on and as social media has come about. But when the ball is tipped, it's all about your guys, your brothers, and getting the job done. And if someone's trying to take your manhood, like Mitchell Robinson, someone's able to step up and take care of that issue and not get gentlemen swept in 5 games because the same issue isn't fixed.
So it comes down to Donovan Mitchell then. I mean, ultimately,
Yeah.
it's going to come down to Donovan Mitchell. It's going to be
Him and believe it or not, I think Jared Allen is one of the most underappreciated pieces of this team.
He's
If he
figured
plays
out a
his
little
A
bit, yeah.
game, this team's way different when
But
he's
Jared
on.
Allen said the one thing last year that honestly broke me as a fan to say that the lights were too bright for them after they were.
See, that
Yeah,
bothers you.
Like,
I didn't care one bit. I thought he was just being purely honest. Like,
you can be honest behind closed doors. You don't say that publicly. That's why you got punked. You
I
don't
mean-
say that publicly. You don't say, okay, you lost, even in a blowout situation.
What did it
like you
hurt
lost.
by him saying it? That's all I'm gonna ask. What more?
He said it
I
after
mean,
they
you
lost,
got
right?
upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as a team, how did it hurt them more?
There's not a single team in the Eastern Conference that fears the Cavs. If they're matched up against the
I don't
Cavs in the
believe that
first
one
round, I completely believe
I
that.
don't know about fear, but I think there's teams that don't.
I don't
wanna
think. I
play
don't
the
think any
Cavs.
team
No,
fears other teams,
no.
but they're gonna be like, we can't take them lightly. If you
Mm,
take the Cavs lightly, they will score on you.
No one's thinking about that. No one's
No,
thinking,
I
the
don't think-
Cavs are a walkover series.
I
don't think that.
I don't know if I agree with that. Obviously Boston at this point is at another level this year, but Milwaukee, the Knicks. I think if
the
you're,
Knicks don't. No, I agree.
I-
I don't
I think
think the
it- I-
Knicks
The
are
next,
afraid
the
of
next, the next want the Cavs again.
Yeah, they
Yes,
do.
they do.
And I want them. My point is when you're
hold up, but do the Cavs want the Knicks again?
Jared
Yeah,
Allen
I
should
think they
want
do.
the Knicks again because he's been on a mission too this year to be like.
Here's
you know
why
what?
I liked
Yeah.
what Jared Allen said. He knew he was wrong. He didn't. Do you think he wanted to tell that to everyone? No, that was embarrassing. But he admitted it. And I told on our show, I go, he's going to do one of two things. He's either going to crumple from this and he's not going to play that well next year, or he's going to be like, the hell with that. I ain't never feeling like that again. I pummeled myself and I took a lick. I admitted exactly what was wrong with me and I fixed it. And he's came out and balled out all year and got snubbed in the All-Star game, dude. That I love Jared Allen. I'll defend him to the death, my friend.
But Jay, you asked, what did Jared Allen hurt by saying that?
Yeah,
He didn't. I don't think he hurt anything within the team,
that's my point.
but he
Like,
hurt. But he hurt the support that is given to the team. So fans have been all about what is this team going to do in the playoffs? They haven't focused on the great performances that Jared Allen has done. They've just kind of brushed him off because it's not in the playoffs. I'm not saying that that's the right way for people to react, but that's just the matter of fact of how fans have reacted to that. And yeah, I think that
So the fans are on him and are hard on him. That could be a good thing, though.
and I think
It's a
some
constant
hope so.
humbling factor to
I
the
hope
guy.
so.
Not going to know until round 1 of the playoffs.
Yeah.
right.
Got to see how they respond to all this and how they build off of another probable 50-win regular season. Can they actually learn from the mistakes and get into the second round, get into a possible Eastern
And
Conference
I think
finals.
getting
I mean,
someone like Marcus Morris on this team
Yeah.
they finally got their Kendrick Perkins, let's say. Like they got their attitude guy. Like
mhm.
you already took someone and busted him in the
Right.
face with an elbow. Like
Tristan can
It
play
ain't-
some big minutes in that series too. If they
Mhm.
play the
Yes,
Knicks. Yeah.
Tristan being back and Marcus Morris being on this team because you know he's going to sign another 10-day contract and he's going to be brought on the team. Like that's just how that process works. When you
and those
sign,
dudes are veteran. Allen's young, super young. People that's
Mhm.
like these guys are gonna be like, no, man, this is the mentality you need to be.
and Josh Hart's not going to be able to flick Donovan
No.
Mitchell's chain on the sideline when he knocks down a three because he may not even.
Marcus Morris ain't gonna care if that's his buddy or not. Dude.
No,
No.
and you need that. And hopefully, also in the playoffs, they're going to be able to spread the floor out
Mhm.
because that was hard to come by last year. The
Strus
Knicks
is a big
did a
deal. Yeah.
great job with that last year. So hopefully they can do that. If you guys remember last year around this time, Donovan Mitchell, the last couple weeks of the regular season, was going off
Mhm.
Mhm.
in preparation for the playoffs. But it turned out, I don't know if he fizzled out come playoff time as far as energy level. As far as energy, I'm not saying effort, but as far as energy level, did that fizzle out? This particular stage, can he get his legs back considering they're going to go to the West Coast? They got a game in Utah where, you're going to be up there. Can he get his legs back in time for the postseason? That's going to be a major question, especially with the injury you guys were talking about.
Yeah.
And if he does, and this team gets rolling at the right time, like 'cause everyone's worried because we're not playing good right now, which is, we're fans, we're going to do that. But me, I just want them to have their A game ready to go right when playoffs start, and you want to go into the playoffs hot, dude.
I have one request for Evan Mobley.
Yeah.
Lock that dude in a room and make him watch Tim Duncan highlights for the
Yeah.
rest of his career.
Please.
Yeah, seriously.
He had the defense he can play, the ability to shoot the ball, which I guess he just forgot to do until a certain point this year because I don't know if it's just part of the game plan too or whatever. The guy can shoot threes.
Right.
Like he could shoot mid range. Like what he should be a 20 and 10 guy easily.
And look,
easily.
Tim Duncan is not someone that's out in front of the media, a former player that's getting all the attention.
Soft spoken.
But what happened
it
when the
on.
ball was tipped in the air?
He would insult you, but he would do it friendly.
Right. He let
Professionally,
That's a tough shot, buddy.
he
Just
let
one
his
on the court.
game
What?
he let his game do the
Ow.
talking. He was physical. He got down to business. And then when the game was over, like, Timmy got to be Timmy again. Like,
Story Kobe said, like one time he missed a shot, he's like, "Damn, Kobe, you just you missed that, didn't you?" And just turned around and walked away. And he's like, "I was never hurt more in my career." Tim Duncan just told me, looked at me dead in the eyes, and said, "Man, that's unfortunate, man. You missed that shot," and just walked
Jeez.
away. It's like it's calculated. It's just that ice cold. Just
well, right now, Cavs down 3 in the third quarter to the Hornets. They are up to it's 92-89. Charlotte down in Charlotte, North Carolina. So just overall, over the last stretch of games, the Cavs need to find their legs, find some sort of synergy, and go into the playoffs with some momentum. A team that's just about to get their season underway. And two people here did not tell their podcast partners about
You
the
guys ain't on the team, man.
jersey
that's correct. We're
theme
not
here.
physically on
Yeah,
the team.
yeah, we're not physically on the team.
I ain't gonna lie. Like when I saw him wearing it, I was like, "Damn."
I'm like, you don't have the same jersey, do you?
And I almost wore the exact same jersey.
Well, we're going to talk Guardians and baseball on the other side, plus a campaign for a top 10 play for a team some of you may not even know exists in Cleveland. This is the Voice of the Land on the Big Play and Be On Air Podcast Network.
Are you struggling to hire the right talent or maybe even find the right career? Vector Technical makes it easy. Since 1992, Vector has provided Ohio employers with a reliable process for hiring and have helped thousands of job seekers advance in their careers. Vector Technical is more than just a temp agency. We invest time to get to know each client and candidate personally. Vector places people in job opportunities that they are truly excited about. Interested in learning more? Visit our website at www.vectortechnicalinc.com to see a full list of our current job opportunities and to find out what Vector Technical can offer you.
Get your gear at voiceoftheland.com/shop.
Welcome back to the Voice of Land right here on the Big Play and Be On Air Podcast Networks. I'm Kevin Earl. He is always Positive Jay. This is our crossover event We are with the
Compose
side
yourself.
hustle.
We need a coffee mug, man.
You know what? They're nice coffee mugs.
Yeah, they are.
I'm sure they are.
I've on my second one already.
Yes, that is the voice of Double A Anthony Alford and Kyle Cornell from the Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast. We're going to join their podcast after this. That'll be recorded. So make sure you guys go over to their YouTube channel and follow Double A Anthony Alford on all social media. Kyle, where are you at on social media?
I'm not.
That's a good move.
You're a smart
That's what I
man.
thought the answer was.
It's been 4 months now, I believe, since I've had any sort
Yes,
of
you
like.
had-
I,
yeah,
I run our TikTok,
Okay.
which even then was like, but
Isn't it getting banned?
I hope not, because we're actually
That
doing pretty well.
TikTok
And I
helps.
wanna keep it.
Yeah.
I'm
Like
starting
to,
to pick up views and get
to
some
get
likes
views.
and
That's
everything,
that's why I keep posting all of our videos, not just on Twitter and Facebook. I go to our TikTok account too.
We have a TikTok account.
Yes, we do.
All right.
yeah. We're all learning things today, which is great.
Jay, TikTok dance, man. Let's get the views up.
Gotta get
No.
something going, yeah.
No,
Top of trend. Come on, guys.
they'll cancel us if they watch me dance.
The government's not tracking you. Don't worry.
Oh,
There's a joke about my past in there somewhere, but I'm just gonna
Sorry,
leave
I'm
it.
not leaving it alone.
we will somehow transition to
Good luck.
the
We're talking
Guardians.
baseball.
They like to have fun as well. Stephen Vogt bringing a youthful exuberance, I would say, to the clubhouse. But how is he going to be as a manager, moving from behind the plate to now into the dugout as a manager for the first time ever? Kyle, your expectations. I know you're a Yankees fan, but you're here. You know,
Oh, yeah.
you know how Cleveland baseball, mid-market, small market baseball works. They're going young, probably going to bring more younger guys up that people were upset that got sent down. Kyle Manzardo, Chase DeLauder. We're having great springs.
Don't worry. When they get really good, they'll just sign with you guys.
Yeah. God, why do you have? Don't put that out there. I mean,
it's gonna happen.
it's realistic, but easy. We haven't.
That take was 5
I'm
minutes
sorry.
away.
Yes.
Turn me into always practical, Jay. This is on you.
Sorry, people. APJ does not stand for always positive J anymore. It's not my fault, but
It is.
it technically is.
Gotta be practical.
Gotta be.
Kyle, your just thoughts on the direction the team is going and what they can do, especially with a weaker division in the Central.
Yeah.
When Cavs playing a tough division in basketball, Browns playing one of the toughest divisions in all football. Guardians kind of the advantage in a weak division.
A little bit, yeah. I'm also not convinced too that there's like a face-off situation like John Travolta and all that stuff where like it's actually Terry Francona, but it's just Stephen Vogt's face on him at this point.
Okay.
Just because
Okay.
it's weird just not
like
seeing
a Mary, like someone pulling the puppet
Yeah,
strings.
legit, just like,
good,
oh, yeah. But I mean, a fresh start, obviously, for the Guardians too, and it's a good situation from you mentioned the standpoint of just not having a very strong division. So taking advantage of that's going to be obviously important. And it's kind of like you see some of these young teams just kind of pop out of nowhere. Like the Nationals were one of those teams that had a couple like veterans, but a lot of young guys. That was when Soto was like 20,
Right.
whatever it was too. Like he was still like coming up, but it was like, oh, he's not Juan Soto yet. I mean, they have an opportunity to kind of surprise some people at that point and kind of, make a big splash. And it could be 85, 90 wins, but that could be enough this year, honestly, to win the division. So
The starting pitching is going to give you a chance already.
stay healthy. That's going to be important
Yeah,
for
health
Bieber
is
and those guys. Yeah, they
huge.
got to stay healthy. You need like an all-star year for Bieber. I think
And he's
that's-
looking great from what I'm hearing.
he needs
Him
it.
and Tristan McKenzie,
Yeah.
who you got the jersey.
Yeah,
on.
this is.
I have a Jose. He has Tristan. We're not wearing the same shirt. Don't make fun of us. You're going to do it anyways.
They can only see the front. You guys have to stand up, otherwise I don't believe you.
All you gotta look for is the Nike swoosh.
Yeah, I got the Nike.
There it is. Hold up.
I got
There
All
we
right. Double A's got to stand up.
There you go.
There we go.
He's got the Tristan McKenzie on. I mean,
watch me not do it.
I can't believe he actually did it. I was surprised.
Yeah.
I was like, you don't have to
Let him
do
do
that
it.
at all. Like, don't listen to me. It's fine.
I'm pretty lazy. I sat down. I stand up all day at work. I'm good.
That makes sense. I sit down at work all day, so
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, I kind of sit down all day too. I kind of wanted to stand, but hey,
What I was telling them about Galvin Williams. He got hurt his elbow.
Yeah.
What exactly happened there? Do you remember, Kevin?
I believe it was like elbow tightness. They were being extra cautious with it,
Every
and
time you hear elbow, you just kind of just go.
especially
Yeah.
on a throwing arm. I mean, for pitchers, it's just
For me, Garrett Cole was just kind of, especially after last year, first Cy
Yeah.
Young.
That's who he reminds me of.
Yeah.
The way he pitches, he looks just like Garrett Cole. It comes out of their hand, it's just like a rocket, and then you watch him throw, and you're like, that looks so effortless. Like it's supposed to go 65, but it's hitting 95. How
I should
is
be
it
able to go to the
doing that?
swings and things batting cages and
Yeah.
knock this one out of the park.
By the way, I still can't hit 65 in the swings and things batting cages. I tried after playing 20 years of softball. I'm like, I can't do it no more, man. I lost it.
Well, the way he was able to step in pressure situations last year was
Mhm.
impressive. Really impressive. I think first off with manager vote, I love Tito. At some point, we don't have to say that anymore. We don't have to start our takes with I love Tito, but
It's just like Stephen A. Like this guy's a
I
great
can do a
guy.
I love
That's fair,
Tito
man.
with a huge butt.
I love Tito, but this manager is going to actually relate to the younger players.
Yes.
This manager is going to actually have good knowledge on what to do with the bullpen, and bullpen management. And I think this manager is going to be more in touch with the development of this team than the Tito. And because we don't know much about Vogt other than he was a former player and just pretty much just removed from being a player. He's stepping into that role. There's nothing really he can lose. He's going to learn on the job. He has quality assistants. He's in a great position with low expectations.
He can give more too. Tito, with all the health problems he was going through and everything, man, it was just a lot for the past couple of years. So having a guy that's younger, fresher, can kind of really give more to the team. I think the young guys will probably appreciate that too.
I
Here's
think
a question for you guys.
Yeah.
If Tito's here, is Miles Straw still on the team? Because he is like
Yeah.
loyal to a fault. And
Yeah.
I'm so glad I don't ever have to watch that dude bat again, hopefully.
well, he's
I love Miles Straw.
Wasn't he
Again,
having a-
sorry. After what he did to your Yankees fans, I'll always love him. He'll always it's like, dude,
Yeah,
that was great.
That was great.
Didn't throw the punch. He did it classy. But his bat is just terrible. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. Like,
Tito's in that old school of, we got to steal bases. We gotta play smart. No. It's time to. It might take a year. It might. This team may not really come together until 25. Okay, fine. But it's time for this team to get to today's generation of baseball, and you got a guy in there who could probably do it.
Hitting 240 this generation of baseball.
Yeah.
There was 10 guys last year that hit above 300.
yeah, that weirded
That
me
is
out.
insane.
Like I
Like
was
if you
telling
hit above 300 right now, like you're getting paid.
We had a
Yes.
conversation about
Yes.
the 95
Yes.
Indians, and I said, as somebody who's 32 years old, I'm jealous of you guys that was able to experience. You and Pete were able to experience the 95 Indians.
the
Because all I
lineup
hear-
batted 300 nearly.
All I hear
The
is the
entire
great
lineup.
scoring
Mm-hmm.
and how easy homers were. In my whole lifetime, we win 2-1 ball games.
We're going to PB to get to a
I
run ball
swear,
'cause we're not-
you'd go through their lineup, and when I was a kid, I could tell you every stat of baseball there was because the Plain Dealer would come out every Tuesday with all the full stats, and I read that thing front to back. Dude, the Indians lineup, it'd be like Lofton, 325, Omar, 301, Roberto Alomar, 320, Manny Ramirez, 325. And it just goes down the line like boom, 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 boom. They had more people batting 300 almost in the entire league last year.
It's insane.
Like batting average was huge.
Don't
back in
worry,
the-
Miles Strong.
No one cares about it anymore.
See,
It's
and
throw-
back then,
I mean, how many players on our team were below 200 last year?
well, back then, I actually was at one of those games where they came back from like being down by like 10 runs.
Was
Like,
that
the
against
seventh
Seattle?
inning. It might have been the Seattle game. I can't
Because I was
remember.
there for only 7 innings. I can't say I was there for the comeback because
It was a long time ago, but it was what my friends left
Wait,
because they were like,
are you talking about the like 90s Indians?
yeah.
That
It was
you
like
were
late-
at that comeback game against Seattle?
Yeah.
Because I watched that on TV and I know exactly.
I
That
was
was insane.
I was in the bleachers. My friends were like, yeah, I'm like, they could come back, and they're like, whatever. They left, and I'm
They were
like,
down like 17 runs or something.
I don't think it was. I can't.
no,
remember.
it was definitely 10 to 12 runs.
It was like 10 to 12 runs.
It
They
was
came
way
back.
up
Yeah.
there.
It
Grandpa
was-
wasn't feeling the seats up top. Like he was definitely in some pain. So we had to make sure we took him home. We're taking care of family over that. But Grandpa's the one that gave me the baseball fandom. I mean, look, this team is going to have to score runs in order to compete. Even in a weak division, pitching isn't going to take you that far. And I hope that was a decision with Miles Straw. As much as I love Miles Straw, I love his defense. Hopefully he can get right in AAA because there is a bat that he hits a single, he's on base. Now he's a threat to run. That's what they brought him in for, was his speed, to get on base and then guys behind him to be able to utilize that speed. But when you can't even get on base and you're a rally killer instead of a rally, continuer, that's going to be a problem. And I hope that Stephen Vogt has gotten a voice to Antonetti and Chernoff and to this front office that, look, offense still needs to be important. And if we're going to go with these young guys, we need to go with the young guys that we don't even know what the pop in their bat is, but we feel like it's there. We need to have offense as well as defense, and maybe take a risk by having Tyler Freeman out in center field, which is crazy to me to see Tyler Freeman, because we covered him with the captains, and he's been an infielder for his whole life.
Yes.
And knowing that he's going to play center field, like, that is crazy.
Do you think our current manager now is more in tune with the front office than Tito? Like, I just don't know. Like, there were certain decisions that took place last year where it seemed like, especially last year, where it seemed like Tito and the front office was not on the same page at all. And I get it. Maybe the front office, they want to put, when you hear we're pushing for 2025, Tito's like, I don't have that much time left. I need to win something right now. So,
right, I can see maybe some discrepancies between the front office and Tito,
The front
because
office and every other person that's a Guardians fan.
right, because Tito's a Hall of Fame manager. But I think that the reason why he was brought in is because he gelled so well with the front office. This isn't a JB, a Mark Jackson situation. I just think for Tito, he had gone as far as he could, and he saw where the team was going and knew he needed to step aside. He's still a voice that they go to, and he's an advisor, I'm sure, that they talk to all of the time. He knew for his health and where the team was going, like, he needed to step aside, and maybe a different voice that can lead in a different direction the way the team was going, that would work out. And look, Vogt talks about all the time how much he talks to Terry Francona. So Terry loves this organization. The organization loves him. The city of Cleveland loves him. And I think he's still going to have an impact. He knew he needed to step aside.
I think Terry might be a bridge for Vogt too, as well, kind of having that experience as a player too, and being able to kind of connect with Steven on that. And then, this is Chris. This is these guys. Like, he can kind of have that little carryover with everyone to kind of bring them all in together more. Still have his fingerprints on the team, but maybe a few less.
Mentioning being connected to the team, you can go ahead and tell your big announcement now, huh?
Oh, I'm not going to do that here.
No?
It's totally separate. Go to
All
at
right.
Kevin and 7. There's an announcement on there. I make sure that
You
this,
can't, he can't do that. Like, you have to tell us now.
They don't know.
That's not fair.
Our fans
hold
don't know.
on, I'll cover for you. Kevin will find a way to attend the home opener so you can see the eclipse.
Kevin will be at the home opener.
If that's the actual news, I may leave.
No, I'll definitely be in front of my computer still putting commercials together. Like,
You can at least step outside if it's 3:15. You can step outside, look at the eclipse, just make sure.
I mean, when it gets dark outside, like, I'm the only one in the studio. The lights go out because there's no motion. I'm used to dark all around me anyway, so I'm not going to know any different.
You know what Kevin doesn't do? Stare directly into the light when it turns back on. Kind of a foreshadowing thing.
Yes.
Just
Yes. I'll be doing a podcast with Andre Knott this year to kind of go deeper than just
Thank you.
this
I knew
guy's
it'd come out. I'm like, waiting.
yes. So I don't know
this
if
is like
it's
your first real big cover of a team. really.
like that's a huge deal.
That's awesome.
I'm
Yeah.
just proud of you, man. I just want everyone to know.
I appreciate
he
that.
is your hype woman.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Man, sorry.
That guy's going to swing over.
On that note, we need to take one final break tonight. On the other side, what are we going to finish with? We don't really know. It's the Voice of the Land of the Big Plan B on Air Podcast Network.
Are you looking for a career in manufacturing? Vector Technical has you covered. Vector Technical is a 28-year-old staffing firm that is partnered with some of the biggest and the best companies throughout Northeastern Ohio. The recruiters at Vector Technical will coach you through the entire job process and will help you land an opportunity that you are truly excited about. Vector does not add any additional fees and offers benefits as well as free online skills training through Penn Foster. To learn more, visit www.vectortechnicalinc.com and make sure to check out our job board to see a full list of our current opportunities and apply.
Welcome back one final time to the Voice of the Land, the Big Play and Be On Air podcast network. Kevin Arnold, Always Positive J, Peter Tillip are here, plus the Side Hustle Wrestling podcast boys, Kyle Cornell, Double A, Anthony Alford. We're all sitting in the couches because the table could not handle all of this.
I kind of like it over here. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, Peter, I don't know that we can go back to the table now.
Yeah, I think.
Just going to let you know.
Shut
Okay.
I mean, if you have other shows that have to go to the table and it's easier if you just stay over there, like when we come
you know
in.
what? I'm flexible. I can go either way.
Well, when we come in, how about, if the
Not that way, Kyle.
Giggity.
I thought-
You know what's funny? I
This
think
is
all of
not
us
that
looked at
show.
Kyle.
As soon as I
This
said
is
it,
say
not
about
that
you?
show.
Like that Yankees
All right.
fan with his dirty mind over there.
I mean, come on. You have to know I'm
I
12.
lobbed
Like, I
that
mean,
one
it's
right
just like,
over the plate.
I'm sorry, Kevin. I apologize. That
It's
one's
not
on
that
me.
show, but trust me, this show goes off the rails in different ways. So we
They
always
actually
say,
kept it on the rails tonight, which is kind of I'm surprised.
what?
Wait till the next show you got to do.
Oh, yeah.
This is actually pretty organized by our standards.
You're gonna. Get
I
me
try to
on
run a
cut.
tight ship over here, okay? I practice driving a show when I'm here. It's this guy that always gets me off. But
Whoa. Okay.
I'm pretty
No.
sure it's your
Oh,
phone that
hey,
always gets
hey.
you off the
Oh,
rails.
hey.
You're trying to
That's
play.
chemistry right
There you
there.
go. There you go. There you go. Fantastic.
woo! I think that's
Whoa.
where we should
Keep
end
on.
it, but we won't because our friends, we do want to make sure we update everyone. Our friends with the Crunch, they are sitting at 9-2, 1 game left to play against Grand Rapids in Michigan. I believe it's this weekend, and then they have the semifinals and finals in Omaha on April 12th. Will be the semifinals, and they have to earn their opportunity to play on that Sunday to try to win their 5th championship. But yeah, I tweeted it out. The Crunch tweeted it out. They put it all on social media.
Should have been on SportsCenter top 10.
Do you want to? I have it up here. Let's see if we
Yeah,
can
let's
play
play it.
To it.
I wanna
Let's
see
see.
this.
Let's see if this actually works.
All right.
There it is.
Oh,
Don't
good.
foul. All right.
Move.
Back post wide open. Yeah.
Nice.
Why not?
Kane Spragley
Why not
back
take
to
3 extra
Bozak.
Option
touches?
there.
Pops it
Back
back to
in the air to
Bozak.
him.
Bozak to Spragling. Who?
Oh,
Bang!
my
Oh, you gotta be
goodness.
kidding me.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, that was a beauty.
I told you that thing was
And then
sick,
watch
dude.
the celebration. This is a classic. McCain all
Unbelievable. Oh,
tra-
and
the train
celebration.
Spragling.
Wowzer.
McCain, the train
That one
Spragling,
hurt
the
a
back
little
flip
Little
in
did you
the
guys
corner.
know Double A could do that without the wall.
He doesn't need it.
Nope.
No, he doesn't need it.
Flipping. Front or back, don't matter.
I'll show you how to do that next week.
All right.
I put the campaign out there for SportsCenter Top 10. I haven't seen it. Yes, they won 24-5 with that goal. Like they
That was
already
the
had
other thing,
23.
yeah.
Real nail
So-
biter.
Maybe the score, maybe I've heard a little bit, but to do that,
That might actually help because honestly, it's like a crazy score. Like SportsCenter is like, yeah, look at the score, then look at this. Like they could do
Yeah.
the whole thing. Like it could be
yeah.
a,
So try to put the campaign out there. I keep like reposting it.
it's
So
at least top 7. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. There's
I
not
mean-
7 better plays today than that.
they used to do like hometown or like local top 10s. They, maybe they'll have a show with
That was
with
the glory days of Sports Center.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
that was
Where
That's a whole subject.
Speaking of Sports Center, John Anderson announced today that he is going to retire
Oh,
from
Is
wow.
Sports
anyone
Center.
good going to be there?
From Sports Center.
From
Okay.
Sports Center. He still does track and field, does other stuff. He might still do Wipeout. But
No, that's John Cena.
oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Cena
He
does
moved
do
it
it
around.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, his contract's up in June. He's like, no more Sports Center after 27 years of doing Sports Center.
Well, the people we watched growing up.
Unbelievable.
I
There's
know.
Stuart
Are
Scott,
any of
Hannah
the
Storm,
old
all these ones, yeah.
I remember
Sports Center
Rich
guys
Eisen
left?
was still on
Any of them?
I
Sports
mean,
Center.
Hannah Storm is there.
Hannah Storm is still. I'm so happy she's still there. I can't
And
believe it.
Prayers to her because
Yeah.
she's in the early stages of breast cancer,
Yeah.
but she's fighting it and still at work. We'd be remiss. I mean, it's Women's History Month, but look, the NCAA tournament's going on. I don't know. Have you guys watched more of the women's or the men's?
Oh, that's a good question. This past weekend, the men's, just because this weekend, a ton of blowouts. Oh, let me give you this quick stat on the women's tournament. I heard this on Mad First Take this morning. In the second round of the women's tournament, it's held at home sites.
Mhm.
The top seed that host are 50-1. Right? You want to know who the one loss?
Ohio State.
Ohio State.
When they were up 16, then lost by 12 to Duke. it felt like something like that was coming though, because they weren't playing their best basketball at the end. While they were the better program out of the two at Ohio State, they did not play their best basketball. There was a great story though with JC Sheldon, their leader, their senior, her sister, who has Down syndrome, is like the biggest fan of the team. Everybody, staff around the campus, everything like that, that she just absolutely is beloved by everybody. And that's what you want to see, like everybody together. And it doesn't matter what background you have, what you deal with, things like that. But one note I wanted to make on one of the stars of the tournament, and we brought it up in the break, Caitlin Clark, everybody it seems like she has the biggest target on her back, not LSU, who's the defending champ, not South Carolina for someone to dethrone the undefeated team this year. It's Caitlin Clark and the Iowa Hawkeyes. She was offered by Ice Cube $5 million to play in the Big Three so that she had something to play here in the States out of the WNBA season instead of having to go overseas. And he's, Ice Cube is tweeting it out, trying to promote women's sports and how it's on the uptick. I mean, I thought that was a great thing. And he was trying to keep it quiet until the NCAA tournament was over.
But now the question is the WNBA going to let Caitlin play?
Right. Because she's going to go
Why
first
wouldn't
pick.
Why
they
wouldn't I?
let
It's $5 million for a 10-week commitment. Yeah.
They let Brittany
Let's-
Griner go to Russia. I mean, I don't think they
I
can
mean,
stop
that's
them.
not
Careful,
I'm just
careful.
saying, But I'm saying they
If I'm
let
saying
someone
careful,
go
you know you
be
gotta-
somewhere.
Some land
Looking
bridges
for
you
a
don't want to
My
contract.
cross.
point being, any kind of publicity is good for their sport, I believe.
Yeah,
They need it.
I have a pitch for a different women's league, but I might save that one.
I'm still pitching for the NWSL to come here with the Cleveland Pro Soccer Group.
Oh,
That's trying to do that.
Which
I
I was
mean,
trying to say, if they don't tear down the stadium, why don't they just convert it? Can they convert that into a soccer stadium?
I mean,
Let's get the Cleveland Crunch in the MLS.
Yeah.
Let's do it. If they're winning 24-5, they need
Well,
some better competition.
they need to be at the top level of indoor soccer. But
Would the
I'm
Hassel's have an issue with that since they run the Columbus Crew?
I don't think so.
Deal with it.
Yeah.
I mean, when
They
the,
left.
when the
Screw 'em.
crew when the crew won the MLS Cup, Jimmy didn't even go. D Hassel accepted the trophy. Like Jimmy Hassel's going to win it. Never mind.
That's not a trophy I want to hoist. I want to hoist the Lombardi trophy. Good luck, Jimmy.
I'll hoist the MLS Cup.
Yeah.
'Cause they don't want to go send a representative. This guy right here.
There it
I'll
is.
go hoist.
There it is.
I'll go hoist the MLS Cup. Well, that is it for the first half and the live half of this crossover event between the Voice of the Land and the Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast. We are going to switch gears to the Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast for Double A Anthony Alford and Kyle Cornell. Thank you so much for coming on our show.
Thank you, guys.
More fun to still come tonight on your guys' show.
Raw.
For always positive Jay,
Careful with that voice.
actually always practical Jay, Peter Tulip. I'm Kevin R. reminding all of you sports fans, don't let anyone ever tell you it's just a game. We truly love you all, 3,000.
Don't talk about it. Be about it.
And as our great late friend Mike Allen always used to say, live life, all gas, no breaks. We will see you next time right here on the Voice of the Land, on the Big Plate and Be On Air Podcast Network.